And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to actually one of the most exciting live that we organize each month, which is our demo day. It's often the opportunity for you to discover projects, but behind a real demo. So, having the opportunity to let our members demoing the platform, the games they're developing, and any kind of services related to blockchain and gaming. So, we're very happy. And obviously, the twist is at the end of each presentation you will have you in the audience the opportunity to win something, a reward related to the project we have today. So it's going to be excited, but a lot of projects and 1 hour maximum. So I need to make sure that every one of our wonderful speakers will have the opportunity to actually show everything they have. So without any further ado, I'm very pleased to have right from start fall. If you're ready, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you. We're very excited to showcase Starfall today. So I'm going to be jumping around here a little bit, but so we're Starfall. So we're a user analytics platform for Web3. A little bit about us. So I was a fraud software engineer at Google. My CTO is the applied ML lead at DeepMind, and my CEO has done sales ops at Slack. So we have combined over 10 years of experience in dealing with fraud and user analytics. So we're dealing mainly with bots and bad actors. There's about 40% of Web3 users are bots, according to GameFi. This impacts tokenomics, the communities, for wallets and DAOs and dApps are at risk. So before getting into this, I think I actually want to get into the demo of Starfall. So let me know if you're able to see the our dashboard here.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
so with Starfall, you can search essentially any L2 or L1. We support a number of chains right now. All of the lookups that you do, of course, you can see, for example, Polygon, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and a bunch of other chains here. For any wallet address that you can pick out from EtherScan, from any of the other blockchains, you can put them into this wallet search bar here. So I'm just going to drop that in here so you can see it. You can see it work. And this is going to pull up predictions for that particular wallet. So the predictions that we're making for this particular wallet are there's over 3,000 transactions here. We're giving it an approved signal, which means that we don't believe that this wallet to be fraudulent. We do think that this could be a botted account, and we give you reasons. For example, if we do believe that a wallet could be botted. So this is something that you can do for tens of thousands of wallets. So this is for every wallet that signs up for your platform. You can bulk upload. You can do individual uploads. It's chain agnostic as long as you tell us which blockchain it's on. We support L1s and L2s, as I said here. And to go into the signals a little bit, so we have about 5 different models running. So the way that you want to think about this is I have maybe 100,000 wallets that have signed up for my platform, and I want to get general user analytics about them. I want to know signals like how old are they, what's their lifetime, their send transactions, receive transactions, and do these transactions correspond to something that could be a bad actor that I may want to take an action on. And you can do all of that through the Starfall dashboard here. So what we do is we aggregate these signals, we combine these into these models, and we make predictions. So this is a good wallet, so we don't think that there's anything particularly bad about it. But there are wallets that have a suspended status. So if I go into these, so for example, this has 608 transactions, 617 token transfers. We believe it's a botted account, and we're giving an actual message of this is associated with fraudulent activity, and you don't want to transact with it. And we're giving a particular risk score. So you can use these thresholds to dig into your own users, your own wallets. You can slice and dice through different users and figure out are any of them part of bot clusters or fraud clusters. And just to show you that, so this is a computation that we make ourselves, and you can use any of these signals, for example, to try to group accounts. So this is a known fraud account that we have here. I'm actually going to throw this into Starfall. So this is on Ethereum. And this is the same account that I pulled up here. So this is a computation that we're making. This doesn't have anything to do with the Etherscan flag, and this address was used in a phishing scam. So our models and our system that we have here catches up to 85% of this, and with accounts that are typically tend to be botted or fraudulent accounts, it captures up to 95% of them. So you can be pretty sure that if we're issuing a signal saying that there's something up with this account, you may want to take a look at it. Of course, you can look up all of the previous wallets that you've looked up. We make everything available to you. We make it very easy. You can take action on them. Each of these buttons is tied to a SDK endpoint that is tied to a webhook on your system. So if you want to flag that account, you want to mark it, you want to suspend it, or you want to approve it, all of those are available. So one really neat feature that I can go into is the related accounts. So if you click related, what we pull up are all accounts that are related to that particular account. So this is a way for you to just get superpowers essentially and slice and dice through your users. And you can look up essentially anything. For example, you may only want to look up only the botted accounts. So this is all the is bot accounts that are here. You want to look up fraud probabilities, maybe that are greater than 0.5. That's another thing that you could do. And this is an easy way for you to look at a larger level, what do my users look like? How do I find out more about my users and the type of people that are signing up for my platform without having to write any SQL whatsoever? So this is a super toolkit that you have for yourself. Of course, it works across multiple blockchains, so it's something that you can use to understand your users better. And also, some of the features that we're bringing in that I want to target here are that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to expand our use cases based on customer feedback. We get asked for a lot of things. For example, detecting watch trading, detecting whether accounts are trying to participate in airdrops just to get the benefit of the airdrops, but they're not active on your particular game or your particular ecosystem. What are the NFT holder analytics? So, for example, what are all the NFTs that a particular wallet holds? What's the value of those NFTs? And also from our end, lead generation. So, for example, you have a profile of a user through this, so you know exactly the type of behaviors that they incur. And so, what we can give you are these related accounts that show similar users. So these are users that you could potentially target. They don't necessarily have to be in your system. So this could be based off of just general Ethereum users based on the last n number of blocks. These could be just general Ethereum users on the blockchain. And as we're going into this, some of the things that we're building out is verified non-bot high-risk user, a data exchange where you can get data from other sources into the system. So one that we already support is Twitter. So if we have Twitter handles tied into logins, we give better predictions, and we also give you better support on similar users to that user that you could potentially target for new customers. And also one thing that we've seen, especially with Friend.tech and other companies, is that help desk and ticketing is very difficult in Web3 nowadays, getting real customer support. So one thing that we provide is an easy way for you to backtrack all of the transactions that have happened through a wallet. So you can get some support, especially if you, as a user, your users can get support on a platform if they don't know how to do something, or if like, where did my funds go? Did I not transfer it to the right blockchain? Was I not doing something correctly? So you can raise a ticket and you can verify all of that information through this intuitive Starfall UI, and then you can provide support to your own users. So in a nutshell, that's what Starfall is. Of course, we're trying to work with folks. We tailor to bespoke use cases. So if you have any interest in trying to learn more about your users, you believe that you may have some patterns that you want to find within your users, Starfall is there for that, and we're happy to take on pilots, and I'm happy to give access to the platform as we have it today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the presentation. It's very, very interesting, and I will have a question just for you, but I think just before, based on what I said at the beginning, would you be able to ask the question to the audience so so they can actually we can actually make sure that they follow what you said. Do you have the question in mind?
Yes. So we have one question in mind. I think I sort of revealed that when I may have shown you guys the drop down. But how many chains does Starfall monitor? So this includes L1s and L2s.
Here you go, guys. So you have obviously a few minutes. Maybe we will wait also for the next speaker to present as well before we select a winner. But it's so interesting to see what you're building actually. And I have one question for you because profiling users, gamers is always being very important for game companies. But now with Web3 on-chain data analytics, why it makes more sense? It's very very important actually for game companies building blockchain games to profile user based on bots and fraudulent activity, in your opinion?
So I think bots and fraudulent activity are one way of getting into that ecosystem. We don't believe that that's the only way. So we think that the idea of understanding who your users are is really about who the next 1,000, next 100,000 users are going to be. And I think that's why it's so important. Is one, you want to know the folks that have signed up that may not be good actors, that may be doing bad stuff in your ecosystem, but if you know the patterns, if you know the activities of the users that you already have, I feel like if when even from the folks that we work with, I love to know more about my customers. I want to know I want to know what they're actually doing, what are their characteristics. I want to be able to dig deeper into them. There's no real good solution for that still on Web3. It's still very much a try to throw a SQL query into some very complex interface. There's no calculated signals, so all the signals are literally just what is available, in the blockchain. And the computed signals, whatever that you get, you have to write SQL, which again is I don't think that that's such a nice thing that even though we're all developers, we may or may not like it. So this is an easy way for you to do that and for you to identify, I think, opportunities. I think another way is to identify just I think fulfilling that curiosity of learning more about who your users are. And I think that's what's so important about it. You're going to be able to cater better to them. You're going to be able to understand what their issues are. If you have a lot of drop offs, let's say like you have 100,000 signups and more than 90% drop offs, you'll be able to see that very clearly.
Perfect. Awesome. We're going to wait a little bit for the question to come, but also I also know that a lot of you are on X/Twitter as well. So if you just want to join on YouTube and on Twitch and try to answer that question and win a specific reward distributed by Starfall team, make sure to tune in those channels. But thanks again for the presentation, where it's really appreciated.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to lay the question maybe a little bit more, but I would like to invite so Moonstream. So it's going to be Said, if you're ready, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm from Moonstream, and Moonstream makes infrastructure for Web3 game economies. So we offer tools like analytics, leaderboards, drops, loot boxes, inventory. And what I'm demoing today is our game called Moonbound. And Moonbound is a special event, so it's a one-time game. It's going to take place next Friday, September 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern. And Moonbound is a special event that we're doing in cooperation with Champions Ascension. And I think probably some of you are familiar with Champions Ascension. It's a great game. It's kind of an arena combat game with collectible fighters. So Moonbound is a standalone event. It's set in the Champions Ascension universe, but it has its own storyline. And we're going to give as our grand prize up to 200 players can win elemental champions to then use to play Champions Ascension. So Moonbound is a fully on-chain text-based game. It's kind of a fantasy horror feel. And the premise is, I'm going to show you some of our characters. the premise is you're playing as an initiate. And initiates are trying to join a cult of the moon. So the way this works is you're in this world that's really brutal. The only way to gain kind of glory, renown, advancement is to train a fighter or be a fighter, fight in the Colosseum, win glory, move up in life. But it's really hard to get started. It's expensive to train a fighter. They're rare. It's really hard to get one. So the initiates are people from this world who are about to do something really desperate to try to get a fighter and get ahead. And what's happening as the game begins is that the moon has come closer to the planet than it's been in 1,000 years. And these mysterious beings called moon souls are entering the world. And it's very serendipitous because the game is running on the 29th, as I mentioned. And the 29th is actually, it's the harvest moon. It's a full moon, and it's actually the last supermoon of 2023. So the moon is actually going to be very close to the Earth, noticeably close to the Earth when we're running the game. Just maybe coincidence, maybe some machinations of the moon souls. But anyway, the moon souls are visiting the world. They've revived this ancient cult, and they are calling to people who they know are particularly desperate, offering them unimaginable power. So as you play the game, you're trying to join the cult, you're trying to get this power, and you're learning more about the moon souls and what the true cost behind this promise is going to be, and what they really want. So you can see here, these are my initiates. To play the game, you need an initiate. They're free. All you have to do to get one is sign up for an account with Champions Ascension. That'll put you on the whitelist for the game. And then you'll be able to come here and get an initiate. So here I'm claiming initiate 21. Once you have your initiate, and these are nice because we're planning to write, you can use them to play Moonbound. They're going to feature in some future games. So once you have an initiate, you have the potential to play a series of games. Okay, so I've claimed this guy. And now I can come down here and I can see my initiates. I have one already in the game, this initiate 35. And I have some others that I can play with. So I'm going to take 36 also. I'm just going to go to begin ritual and send him into the game. So when you come into the game, you'll see right away your initiate, and you'll see this progress box. And this is going to track his adventures through the game. And right now we're set up, we're playtesting, and we're trying to keep the lore for the actual game and giveaway pretty secret. So we're set up with lore from an earlier game that we've run, which is why it says Tavern. So when you come to play Moonbound, there will be fewer dwarves trying to drink in peace, and a lot more moons and mysterious beings. So as you go through the game, you're going to be able to look at this progress box to keep track of where you are you alive or dead, and your rank, because as you move through the initiation, you're going to gain your cult rank, and you're going to earn some items. So you'll be able to solve puzzles and get items. So we're going to enter the playtest. Well, we're going to enter the game. Right now, I'm staking my initiate NFT into the game contract. And that's going to bring up all of the lore for the game and the interface where I can make choices. Okay, and again, this is our test lore. So the actual game, you'll see much more moon-themed puzzles. But once we're in the game, we get two important areas in addition to the progress profile section. And the first one is this big box. This is where you get the lore for the game. So you're going to get a story installment. And that's going to bring you to a decision point where you have to choose. So in this game, you're navigating a labyrinth by trying to make the correct sacrifice at a series of altars. And you'll have to solve a puzzle to figure out which sacrifice is which. So you'll read, you'll get the puzzle, you'll come to this choice box to the right, and you'll choose a path. And here we're just entering the game. There's only one correct choice, but normally there would be 4 choices. I'm going to go ahead and make my choice here. If you make the right choice, you keep going. You very likely earn a reward for that stage. You're still alive and still in the game. If you make the wrong choice, you're eliminated, you're out. And so to win the game and to win one of these elemental champions, you need to get through 9 stages of the labyrinth, which means you need to solve 9 puzzles correctly. And then you need to be one of the first, if more than 200 people get through, you need to be one of the first 200 people to submit your correct solution when you're at the heart of the labyrinth. Okay, so here, and now I'm getting an update that the game master has closed the stage. We get this moment of truth message. We're waiting to find out if I've picked the correct path or not. And while we're waiting, I just want to point out one exciting thing about this game, which is that as you're collecting your in-game items, which are going in this box as achievements, it'll be called artifacts in the final version of the game. These are being given directly to your NFT through our inventory contract. So instead of rewards just going into a player's wallet, they're actually owned by the specific initiate who solved that puzzle. So if you have a few initiates, all of their progress stays with the individual initiate. And that's really nice because it means that if you're using your initiate in future games, they'll have their progress from this game. So you might get a buff in the next game because you got a certain item, or you might have certain options that other players don't have because you're a cult member and you have that membership token, things like that. Okay, and now I'm getting my message. That stage is closed. That was the correct choice. I was successful and I can advance onward. And we see I have lore for the next stage. And I have a new set of path choices. So I have to read, solve the puzzle, and keep going. And I'll just say, regarding inventory, regarding your rewards being assigned directly to your particular initiate who earned them, that also means if you ever want to trade initiates, all of that progress goes with them. So you're kind of increasing their status and their level as you go. So I think I can stop here, but if you'd like to play the game, you're going to have a chance to win an initiate in just a minute. But just go to moonbound.moonstream.to anytime between now and Friday. Get on the whitelist, claim your initiate, and we would be really excited to have you come and check out the game with us. So thank you.
Thank you a lot, Kaylee. I really feel like it's a mix of a D&D experience, puzzles, and a Web3 layers like experience that you're providing, which is very cool. If you can provide me the link on the private chat, I will share it with everyone, so everyone will have a chance to.
Yes, and our inspiration was D&D on chain meets those choose your own adventure books that were really popular when I was a kid.
Exactly what I had in mind. It makes so much sense. Okay, perfect, awesome. I love it. Thanks for the links. I will share it with everyone.
Thank you.
Following your presentation, will you have a question for the audience?
I do have a question, and this is a bit of a trivia question. This didn't come up directly in the presentation, but Moonbound runs on a contract that's called Garden of Forking Paths. So this question is kind of a tribute to the inspiration behind Garden of Forking Paths. So it's which writer wrote a short story called Garden of Forking Paths and inspired the name for our contract?
Yeah, I think we all understand that it's really based on the law that you're building. So it's perfect actually to ask this question as well. So I'm going to give some time to everyone. It seems like everyone is very, very lazy today. So it's definitely a chance for every one of you to actually learn more about the project, but be involved in the project because you will have a chance to win something as well. So yeah, make sure to join us and make sure to answer the questions from the speakers. But anyway, it was such a pleasure to have you on the demo day, Kaylee. Really appreciate your presentation.
Thank you.
I'm going to come back to you. Obviously, if you have some people answering the question you just asked, so I'm going to just put the question again here. But following that, I will ask our next speakers to actually present Ballies with Wes. Wes, if you're here, the stage is yours.
Yes, I am here, and I'm glad to be here sharing the Ballies trading card game. Probably the first time that most of you are going to see it. We've been in a beta run with our community for, I would say, about 6 months, and they've really been helping us get the game to where we think it's ready to release over to the public. So the Ballies Origins collection, that is in collaboration with Crypto.com. We launched there, and that is going to be the main characters that you actually play throughout the game. So each Balli is a basketball character that comes with specific attributes such as attack and defense and also position. Now that is going to help you while you're in a strategy-based game against another live player as well as CPUs. So I just want to go through the basics of what we have on the app itself. Now this is a mobile app. We don't necessarily have it ready for PC-based gaming, but it is going to be supported on tablets such as your iPads. And right now what you see is what would come out as we release to the App Store. So we'll run through a couple of the menu options that you see here. Now, of course, we do have lend to earn available in the game. So if you own one of the NFTs, the Balli Origins, we are allowing you to actually rent that out. And the reason being is with this being in a public app store, we definitely want the ability for people that don't own the assets in the game still to be able to play that game. So they'll be able to come in and rent one of the Ballis that are available. You'll see our community has listed quite a few of those that they actually are getting ready for our public release. Now you'll also be able to have what we call gear items. Now gear items are going to increase your Balli's attributes, whether it be attack, defense, or just one of those. And you can attach those to your characters in the game. So with that, we'll go back to the home screen. And I don't necessarily want to play a one-on-one match with the CPU, but I am going to come in here and just show you that when you have your app connected to your wallet, you do see the active NFTs from your wallet inside the game. Now you have the ability to play any one of these that you would like against the CPU or another party. With that, we're going to play the tutorial. So the tutorial is going to kind of walk us through everything that is available for you while you're actually playing the game. It's pretty fast paced. You have 30-second rounds to actually go ahead and make your decision. The beginning of the game starts with a coin flip, of course, to start the side. And it looks like we have the basketball first, so we're actually going to be shooting. Now you get energy at the start of each round based off of the dice that are rolled. So when you're ready to use them, you'll hit attack. Use this slider here at the bottom. And that's actually going to allow us to use those 3 energy points. They add to your base attributes. And as long as you beat the other player and what they chose, you'll score points for that round. So after you're attacking, of course, you're going to defend in the same concept of using your energy to actually add those attributes together. And so we'll have 3, they had 3, and it looks like we'll successfully defend that position. So with that, you additionally can add cards into the game. These cards are going to give you specific abilities throughout. We'll see this one is called a zone press. It does cost 1 energy, and it's going to increase our attack by 1. So we want to use that. We're going to attack, and we're going to shoot with just the 1 energy we have left. Now that is both the attack and defense stages with your card included. Outside of that, you're going to go until someone does reach that final end goal, which is going to be 12 points. So as long as you're scoring 12 before the other player, we're good to go. And with that, again, it's just pointing out that you do have a time limit. Now, if you don't necessarily use anything before your time limit is over, it will automatically play whatever you have chosen. And if you haven't chosen anything, then you will stand down from that turn. Now that does help because you'll be able to save your energy for the next round if needed. So you'll see that person, the tutorial did choose not to shoot. They saved their 2 energy. And now we are going to draw a card here for that final round. And it's pretty, with it being a strategy-based game, we know everybody is going to play the game just a little bit different. It's hard to get into all of the different strategies that we've seen our community come up with, especially when you talk about the different layers of attributes that people can add to these characters in the game. We just want to know or show you the basics here of what we've been working on. Now, in addition to this, you're going to have a collection that we call cheerleaders. Now, your cheerleaders are going to actually increase that energy level at the beginning of the game. So it's going to help you have more energy throughout the game if you're adding those characters when you start the match. Other than that, one last thing that I did want to show you, because you will have to have, we'll call it Bali coins in the game to make certain purchases, we did make those available for you to purchase directly in game if you didn't necessarily want to earn those by playing each individual game. And you'll see that when you win a game, you do earn coins. These coins can be purchased directly here in our shop, and you can purchase full packs, or you can purchase just energy coins and also gear that is available directly in the game to boost your attributes. That is pretty much the basics of the game. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of different strategies and different ways to play the game, like I said, when you start adding different layers of the attributes. And that is the main course. I do want to thank Blockchain Alliance for letting us present this. I do have a question for everyone. And let's see if anybody knows our collection pretty well. How many Bali characters are included in the card game?
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's very cool. Thanks a lot, Wes, for the presentation. I'm really looking forward to playing the game myself because it's exactly what you expecting for a mobile game, and it's fast. It's beautiful executing in terms of graphic design as well. So congrats, and really well associated to the NFTs that you have as a character as well. So definitely happy to have you in the BGA, but I also have the opportunity to at some point, at some time, also show the games when we will be attending some big conferences, because it's a perfect way to show the relevance of NFTs, ownership, but also just having fun playing a game. So thanks a lot, Wes, for showing that. And we're gonna wait a little bit. I think people are very, very discreet today. I don't know what's happening, but we have a lot of very cool games, very cool platforms. So anyway, we're gonna ask those questions and see if we see at some point an answer. But it was very, very cool to see Ballies. And following that, I would love to have another speaker. So Pierre, if you're ready, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks. Can you hear me?
Perfectly well. Yeah, we have a very little background noise just for your information, but we can hear you well.
Okay, well, I'll try to make it to make it as much as possible. So thanks for having me. Great to have seen another sports game on basket. It's one sport that I like a lot. So really great to see this too. So Pookie, we're basically a game about football. We're live. We've started our first version production in November, so nearly a year. Our blockchain version after this, let's say this alpha time, came in March, so it's been 6 months. And we're having some thousands of players playing the game every week. So I'm going to demo you the platform, how it works, and take you through a few of the core screens. But before going through all of that, basically concept is where we're coming from is football today. Lots of people love football, and to make themselves more excited, they like to predict, they like to participate in the match by trying to guess the score. And you have basically in the market 2 ways. You have gambling. It can be nice, but it also comes with some risk. It also cannot be done for minors. So it's, let's say, a risky topic. And then you have games that are for free, for fun, but you lack a bit of spice. So we're trying to be a middle here where you pay once to start playing the game, and then you can predict forever once you have an NFT of our game. So that's basically the core platform. The items you're going to play with are NFTs. So basically these are Pokeballs. You have a few other NFTs in the game, but this is the most important one. So they're footballs with generated designs. And if you go on them, basically they have a bunch of useful information. They have a level, so they can level up like RPG characters. They have prediction boosts. I'll come to this very soon. They have a rarity, and they are linked to some leagues. So that's basically the main NFT. I'll take you to the next screen. So the main place to play is going to be a game week. So here is a game week 44, for example, which is a live one. And you can see all of the match days that are inside of it. So it's match days of 10 matches. So to play, I'm just going to select one. I've selected the Spanish one in order to have a live one. And here I just see the schedule of matches and I can predict. So I can predict a game, come on it, input the score, and you see that I'm going to have points. The points are basically odds under the hood. So if there's a lot of points, it's that it's an unlikely result. And then you can see that I can select a Pokeball that's going to give me more or less points. So this one, for example, gives me a nice boost on home. But this one, it's a special one. It comes from Alaves. So it has a matching city and league. So it's going to give me a lot more points if I make my prediction with it. I just have to click it and hop, I've set a prediction. It's pretty easy. I'm going to do this for the whole week. Well, I cannot do it here because I have no more energy. It's just a limiting concept. I'll just try to show you one completed match day to explain you how players are ranking against each other. So here, this one is completed. And you have a leaderboard and you have players who are ranking against each other. They're ranking on the sum of the points that they scored during the week. So the higher you are, the more rewards you get. So the top guy, he just earned 38 Matic this week and 2,000 POC, which is one of our game tokens. And you have this on every match day. On every match day, you can earn Matic, you can earn the POC, which is basically the blood of the economy, things that allow you to power up your ball, repair it. Lots of utilities are tied to it. And if you look at collections, you have some players who have pretty nice collections. You can go on their profile, so you can visit someone else's profile, see what they own. You can rival them, basically follow kind of a follow system. And all of that is accessible through our marketplace. So you can see that we have the Pokeballs that I've just showcased. So they come with 4 rarities: common, rare, epic, legendary. Whenever you go on one of the rarities, you have a few of the information there. Everything's also in our white paper if you want to go into the details. And if you go to buy, you just have to select a country. You might have noticed that French. You put a postal code, and then you choose a payment method. We support the wallets, but we in both Matic and ETH, but we also support credit cards. So that allows us to onboard a lot more players, even if they're not familiar with crypto. And I've shown you the marketplace. So we also have a second type of NFTs, which are stickers. Stickers are boosts to your Pokeball. It's a bit more advanced. So our goal is to go towards these Pokeballs, which you have several of, which are a bit like Pokemons in the old game. You have several of them for each situation. You can specialize them. You make a team of them. And this is one of the main gateways to customize them further. So that's what's in production right now. So that's the card game. You can go to poki.gg/app, create your account, play today. That's already open. We also have a Discord server if you want to discuss with the community, understand a bit how the game is going. And yeah, so that's about it for the demo. Happy to get any question.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Pierre. Really appreciate it. I think we had a very insightful conversation with one of your co-founder as yourself, with Claudio, about what is gambling, what is not, and depending on specifically depending on what you do, what is your position, and how, as you said, you add spices into the gamification of the experience, which is pretty cool. So I actually love playing the game on my side as well, and it's very interesting to see the angle that you have on your own platform and how Web3 makes sense as well. So I know now is a big time for you as well to show everything about the game as well, and on our side the BGA will be very happy to highlight that as much as possible, because it's a very unique platform in my opinion. So we're going to try, but I'm not sure about this. If you want to still ask the question, and we'll see. I will wait maybe a few seconds and we'll see if we have people.
Yeah, I can for sure. So basically, just on the marketplace, you can see that we're labeled in Matic, but you also have a price in dollar. So we're entering the game starts at basically $25, which is price for an indie game, I guess. So now it's going to be a question to get to win one of those Pokeballs, which are in the $25 range. So the question is, what's the max levels that an epic Pokeball can reach? So I've shown you levels. I've shown you quickly during the demonstration the epic Pokeball, and the answer is in the white paper if you didn't catch it from the speak.
Awesome. I think I have the answer, but I would love to have your opinion about the question I have for you. Is one of the biggest, I would say, most famous game, specifically because we are both French, so we know obviously that game, which is so rare in terms of fantasy football. How do you compare yourself between what they're doing and what you're doing in terms of the game experience?
So first of all, it's a great game. They've been pioneers. So of course, they're a big inspiration in a lot of things they do. I think they've done great things on UX. Notably, recently they've added support for cache. That's something that we're trying to do, but we're still at the beginning. So it's things that require a lot of means to put in production. So it's a good game. I would say that the main difference is Sora is much more oriented about your football knowledge, and Puki is much more oriented around. It is much more balanced with the gaming strategy. That's one big thing. So Sora wants you to know every player move, injuries, risks. So you need to research a lot more the football part. But once you're done with the football part, it's pretty straightforward. For us, it's much more of a strategy topic. Which game week do I go to? If I go back to my screen, I have like 10 match days open this week. Do I predict on Brazil? There's not a lot of people, but the reward is smaller, but maybe I'll win. Or do I go on the English league where every big fan is going to be? I might like it, but there's going to be a very tough competition this week. But there's a Matic on this league this week. So you see, you have the strategy here. You have the strategy on how you're going to level your Pokeball, how you're going to level your assets. If at some point you've decided to spend a bit in the game, do you go for more Pokeballs? Do you go for stickers? Do you go for other upgrades? Basically, how do you spend your budget on the game? I think those are interesting differences. And I think another thing is the way we rank people. 50% of people get a reward on Poki. I think on Sorare, it's mostly the top end people who are rewarded. Here, if I'm going to try to go in my history and find something that I've done. So profile, going on a leaderboard. Let me try something where I've had a rank. As you can see, I'm not a very good player. Let's go on this one. So Japan 18. We should have an hyperlink here. We don't have it. So Japanese completed, and I want the 18. This one. So for example, on this one, I was 51st with several good predictions, one exact score, so not too bad. And if you look at my rewards, I did earn something like 3matic or 4matic for this game week.
Yeah.
So not too bad if you look at it. And on Sorare, you would need to be like on the top, but you would make a very big reward if you did win this one.
Yeah, very interesting. I love it. Like, also, I
Yes.
understand you tell me well what you think about that, but gambling is a part of the game, but it should, in your opinion, shouldn't limit the ability of a player to play it for fun and for free, above all.
Yeah.
That,
So
yeah.
we also have a free-to-play mode. I didn't demo it today. I went into the core game, which is what one player to experience. But there's also a free-to-play version, which is called the Basic League, where basically you have a showcase of how Poké works. You're going to have match days with a bunch of players playing 4 matches. That's where you pick. And if you win, or if you're in top 3 or 5, I think, you will get a common Pokeball to then enter the game. So it's a way, if you're good enough at football predictions, to say, oh, I've earned my entry pass for free. And it works exactly the same way. I have a screen. You'll just notice that the balls are gray. They're weaker. They're just allowing you to understand how the game works, but they still have the same principle as the main game. There's also a way to educate you about how the game's going to work. You're going to have the prediction, and you're going to have those prediction modifiers, which are going to be basically the big difference we have against a lot of other betting platforms or other prediction platforms, that basically you need this asset that modifies your odds. And I just highlighted because we've said the words of betting a few times, where we're not betting legally speaking. So we've got legal opinions on this, and that's a very important thing. We're recognized as a game and not a casino, basically.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for taking the time to go all through the games. Really appreciate it, Pierre. And yeah, it was wonderful to have every one of you sharing your platform, your service, your games. It's very exciting to see what's happening for sure. So I would like to say thanks again for the 4 of you, and I will wish you a very good end of the weekend as well. So it was very nice to connect. Thank you, guys. Wish you the best.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lev.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Everyone.
Take care. Bye.